Hey, what's up, guys? Travis Tooke here, and I want to talk just briefly about everything that we've been seeing on the news for the past couple of months in terms of politics. Now, I never talk politics because I'm completely unqualified, but I'd like to share a few thoughts in light of what we've seen recently. What seems obvious is that those who make the most noise are the ones on the extreme ends of the spectrum in terms of their political left or political right points of view. And while they completely disagree with each other, they're eerily similar to one another. They both categorize themselves as part of the good and righteous crowd, and they label the other side as completely evil. They both have a very hard time listening or learning how or why the other side could possibly think differently than the way that they think and feel about whatever it is that they're fighting about. And they're both 100% convinced that they are in the right and that the opposition is completely wrong. The odds that you or anyone currently living today understands enough about politics or the human condition to tell us exactly how we ought to behave and what laws ought to be passed for what reasons is about zero. Okay? We're all similar in the fact that we don't really know what is best, but hopefully there are enough of us that want what is best, even if we have completely different ideas on what actions we should take to get there. Because the truth is, people are extremely complicated, and so are laws and politics. I'm not here to make a statement for or against anything that's going on in the public sphere at the moment, but I do believe that we would all be doing better if we educated ourselves a little bit more. So, if you've been watching the news lately and you believe that the whole world is on fire and we're all on the brink of extinction, I'd like to give you a couple of things to try. And by the way, I don't care if you swing left or right or you're dead in the center, this is still going to benefit you and the person you talk to. So here it is, and it's really simple. Find someone that you truly respect who completely disagrees with you and have an open conversation. And I realize that most Christmas family get-togethers have a rule of don't talk about politics and don't talk about religion. But Christmas is over, so it's time to get to talking. And I really do think that these things ought to be discussed. It is much better to put your opinion out there among those whom you love and trust, rather than secretly harboring inner resentment toward those who feel a little bit differently than you. And if you don't have any friends or family members that disagree with you, go get some, because life is pretty boring when you're just sitting around passing pleasantries among one another, agreeing about everything. Find someone who challenges you and make your life a little more interesting. And remember this, when your friend is speaking to you on the topic that you disagree with, listen carefully to their points, consider what they are saying, and then speak your mind. I love the quote from Stephen Covey where he says, "Seek first to understand and then to be understood." Your objective should be to understand the person that you're listening to and really try to learn something from their point of view. Another great bit of advice that I like from Jordan Peterson is assume that the person you are talking to might know something that you don't know. This is almost certainly the case. Everyone that you know knows something that you don't know. They may not be correct in their entire worldview, but they have definitely lived a life that you haven't. They have experiences that you have not had, and they're going to offer something in the conversation if you can just listen to them, give them the chance to share their perspective, and you might walk away a little more educated on what you were so sure about at the beginning of the conversation. And finally, from the author of Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, 50 Cent, if you've done the work and you know your shit, raise your damn hand. And then ask yourself this, when you're engaged in a disagreement with someone, do you just want to be right, or do you want to gain a better perspective of the truth? Most people embrace the truth as long as it aligns with their worldview. But as soon as it's challenged with facts or logic, they plug their ears, put up the blinders, and they just start screaming incoherently at one another. Don't be that person. Defend your position, but listen openly to well-reasoned arguments. Your goal ought to be to leave the conversation armed with more information and a better understanding of whatever subject it is that you and the other are talking about than you had prior to the conversation. And if it changes your feelings about what you're arguing or fighting for, then good. And last thing, guys, I'm not really interested in having an online debate in the comment section of anything. So if you do that, I'm probably not going to engage you. But I am interested and willing to sit down with anybody who'd like to have an open conversation about anything where the goal is to work toward a better solution to a real problem. And in spite of everything that we see on TV on a regular basis, I personally am pretty optimistic about the future of society and people and everything. I think human beings are pretty damn good at problem solving, especially with our backs against the wall, and we always do our best work when we work together as a team. The media would have you believe that the world is coming to an end, that we're about to go extinct, that we're all going to kill each other, and that these problems have no solutions. And I think that is just negative garbage. There are tons of problems out there, and we are fully capable of solutions. And I really believe that having engaging conversations, disagreeing with each other respectfully, and listening to opposing points of view is going to get us through these challenges together. Putting up a wall and fighting and just spewing hatred has never really been successful in the past, and there's no reason to think that it will be starting now. And if you happen to be extra pessimistic, I recommend you check out the book Abundance by Peter Diamandis. The Future is Brighter Than You Think. An excellent book where it just lays out with good reason and good data all the science about why we're headed in a very positive direction. And not trying to undermine any of the negativity that has been going on lately or pretending like these aren't real problems that we're facing. I just don't think it's a good idea to completely pick one side, right? It makes no sense that one side has got life figured out and the other side is the opposite, the evil version of that, right? And what's unfortunate is most people aren't like that. Most people are in the middle, but they're quieter than these two outside groups that are just screaming loudly at one another. And whichever side people tend to lean a little more of, they sometimes, if they're a little more weak-minded or not willing to consider or challenge their beliefs, they just jump on board with the loud crowd and they follow their direction. Rarely is there a positive outcome. So talk to one another. Like, find that family member that you disagree with, but listen to them. Listen to them first. And when that happens, they're probably going to realize that you're not a crazy, angry psychopath, that you're willing to listen. And then they're going to chill out a little bit. And then when it's your turn to talk, speak in a way that shows that you've done your homework, not that you're just angry, right? That you're like, hey, here's why I think this is true. Here's why I think this is a good idea. Here's why I like this person for president and not this person. And it doesn't matter what you think, but defend your point of view with logical reasons and listen to the other side because they have an experience and an understanding that you probably have not considered. All right? So that's it. Like I said, I'm not picking any side or telling you what to do. I'm just saying that whatever your viewpoints are, get out there and share them, but do it in a way that allows both you and your friends to talk to each other, learn from each other, disagree, and still hug each other at the end of the conversation. Okay? That's it. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. Share this video if you did, and see you next time. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that, please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, don't forget to share this video with somebody else. Thank you.